Okay, I'll just go through some of the experiences very quickly. Maybe that can help awaken or activate, or by tuning into those places, you can get something out of it. If not, you can just ignore it and set it to the side. I had an experience in Pompeii, Italy, where I went on this trip in the steps of the Bogomils, which that's a branch off of Christianity in the 11th century. And they were the very first branch of Christianity to respect women as equals, because before it's like the patriarchal system, that we're trying to get rid of is, well, not trying, that we are getting rid of.
Yeah.
And they were also the first branch of Christianity that was, that basically said you don't need the priest, you don't need somebody in between you and God, like you don't need somebody else to be your teacher, it's you and your divine soul source connection. And so the trip went all over Europe, southeastern Europe, and then we went to Italy. And when we were there, we visited Pompeii, which, that was the place where the volcano erupted, and, it's basically buried alive so many people, and they all died, suffocating just on the ashes, like before the eruption even got to them. And that wasn't technically part of the mission. We were in the steps of the Bogomils, but what ended up happening as I was there is I just had a spontaneous activation, and in that trip altogether, of psychometry. And so I would touch a rock and I would instantly be able to tell, like, what's the history of that rock, or, let's see what happened, let's see the volcano, I would see how they live. It's, at first you start seeing like glimpses, like bits and pieces, but you can I learned on that trip, and then in the years afterwards, you can focus and you can consciously slow down those, like you see a movie like in fast forward motion, then you can slow it down, and it just takes practice, and the more your light body is activated, the more you're able to do that, the easier it becomes, the more powerful your abilities become. So we did grid work over there, and I realized at the time that what was happening through me was I was actually transforming on a soul level. I was transforming all the death, all the trauma, all the terror that happened during those times into divine love and into the Christ consciousness. I received an instant karma release, and I saw a beam of light coming in at the end, which anchored the Christ consciousness 12D white ray into the ancient pillar left over in the city. And I saw my confirmation that actually happened was, I was seeing it with my third eye, not physically, but somebody, his name is Roman Stoyov, I considered him my mentor at the time. He actually saw, he completely turned, all of a sudden, he's walking and he just turns around as I'm seeing this beam. So he could obviously sense that too. So that's like confirmation right there that, that actually happened. And we did meditations in that trip, and visited lots of sacred sites, lots of churches. There was so much karmic release happening, saw into past lives. My dad saw himself getting burned at the stake. A lot of things to process. And another experience I had was at a Tao seminar where, I was still very new to all this, but everyone had 5 minutes to say something about themselves. So I would notice people would be anxious or nervous as they went up to speak in front of others. So I'll imagine picking up their anxiety and just removing it or sending them love. And I would notice subtle changes, like little changes in their behavior. And I thought it was all in